And hi again, I'm Dylan Black. It's Daytime Ottawa on Rogers TV. You know what? Winter, a time to embrace the outdoors, take on adventure indeed. But it's nice to be warm and on the inside and out when you're doing this. She's here to help us with family-friendly favorites to do just that. How are you, Julie Findlay?
I am so good. As you're saying warm on the outside, I'm like, oh, we could do a whole thing about layering up. Yeah. Because like we just talked about when we first started, you're running in whatever season you're doing it. You're out there running every day, cold, sleet, freezing. You know how to layer. So you should do a show on that itself. I'm going to try and warm you from the inside. So Foodland Ontario, there's still things that are in season. So I think you and I are pretty good about reminding people when you're in the grocery store, look for the Foodland sign, and you'll know that it's local and it's nearby, and many of those things are. So I've incorporated a few things into two great recipes, a turkey chili, and then what warms every kid inside and out is apple caramel bars. Okay,
can I ask you though, so these are tested? You've tested these with the family?
I have. You know what? I have with the caramels, and I will explain. The only thing that is timely is the caramels. We're using the wrapped caramels. So you have to get kids involved and kids in the kitchen. It's a life skill. You need 40 of those unwrapped to make it the sweetness of the apple caramel bars.
You want to start with the turkey chili?
I will start with the chili because I have already started. What I did was do 624 grams of ground turkey, or if you like fresh turkey, you can cook your turkey and then pick it apart. As far as just cutting off the thighs and the breasts is a good one. And I've added 1.5 cups of onion and 1.5 cups of carrots. And I've already sauteed that for about 7 minutes. And then you're just adding in all the deliciousness that goes inside. So I've got 4 cups of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, and then I've chosen and I did cans. No one needs to worry. There's nothing that's really ever in season that way. You could do your dry beans, cook them as told, or you could do a canned bean. We love our black beans, and we also love kidney beans. So you've got your stove on medium right now as you're cooking all of this in. And then what you're going to add, which is so delicious and tasty, is a tablespoon of garlic.
Garlic is in this time of year?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and a tablespoon of jalapeno. So a little bit of spice, and it's not that much spice in it. Okay. You're going to add a little bit more liquid to your chili, so I've got 3/4 cup of chicken stock, but you can use water if you don't have chicken stock in hand, and then a can of tomato paste. So they usually find them in the grocery store in 5.5 ounces. That's the one you're going to use, just a small little can. And then we're going to add our spices. And I find that's, do you make chili at home?
You know, I don't, but I'm watching what you're doing, and this doesn't seem like it's too difficult.
Not at all. Not at all. All you're going to do is saute the meat with the onions and the carrots for about 7 minutes. It doesn't have to be completely brown because you are going to bring this to a boil. You add in your 2 cans, your tomatoes, tomato paste, onion, jalapeno.
Spices?
As spices, I go cumin, very earthy. I do a tablespoon of oregano, and then I do 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And you might think it's a lot, but you've got quite a bit of chili in here. Wow. So start with 2, and then we have chili flakes on the side for those people who like it a bit more spicy. And this is all it is. You're going to mix it, you're going to bring it to a boil, you're going to cover it for only 20 minutes.
That's it?
Yep, that's it, and then you can serve it. Now, for everyone at home, you take your crock pot out, and you could do the same thing. You could kind of leave it for all day, but make sure you brown your meat before you do it, and then you're off to the races.
Of course, afterwards, you can put some shredded cheese
on
there.
Oh my gosh, it's so delicious with Ontario cheese. We've got so many, it's so versatile, our Canadian cheese. Amazing. So that is one.
Perfect. Let's talk about this apple caramel.
Apple caramel bar. So what I did, for sake of time, is I did 3/4 cups of butter and a cup of brown sugar, and I've whipped it together so it's smooth. I put this in. What you're going to do is you're going to add a 1.5 cup of oatmeal.
So all of this, I don't have to measure it because I
already measured it for you.
You make it
but
easy.
That is fun. You can get that's easy for kids to do, and that's math. So that's a fun way of learning without knowing you're learning. And you could add in a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay, so I believe that was the baking soda. Here's the salt.
And the salt. Okay, and I'm just going to take out 2. This is a 1.5 cups of flour. I'm just going to take out 2 tablespoons and put over top of my 4 cups of apples. I'm going to pour this in. I'm going to mix it together, and this is now your base and topping for your apple caramel bars. So I mixed it in. I'm going to add in the pecans, which is a half cup. And of course, if kids don't like pecans, you could try walnuts, you can try almonds.
I can't see a kid not enjoying this unless they have allergies or whatever, obviously.
Exactly. And you know what? They don't even know that the pecans are in there, because once we've done this, we're going to just remove a cup. I'm sorry to move that. A cup and a half.
Okay.
If you put that
I
over
should have put
here.
that closer to you, yeah?
I'm just going to reserve a cup and a half of it for a little later. But what I'm going to do is, this is our bottom. Is that a cup and a half? I'm going to just put a little bit more in here. Okay? And this is...
I trust your estimates.
Yes. You know what? You can use measuring cups. You just have to bring them to the station in order to use them properly.
Yeah.
This is a 9.5-inch pan. I've got the oven on at 375, and I'm just going to smush this in the bottom. The parchment paper is a savior for 2 reasons. You don't have to cook anything, you don't have to clean anything after, and it's easy to push at the sides. This is the best way to just push down.
That's an interesting way to do it.
I know, and so fast. So
Life hack right there.
Life hack. So it doesn't have to be perfectly blended, because the butter is just going to start melting in.
Okay.
So we've got our base bottom. We are going to put a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of nutmeg. Mix this together. We're going to pour it in the pan.
Roughly 30 seconds left here, too.
That's okay, because all you're going to do now is you're going to take the caramel. Remember, we had 40. You're going to just melt it in a small saucepan with 2 tablespoons, all caramel, of milk. You're going to finish pouring this on, and then you're going to top it with the rest of the oatmeal. You're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes. And then to the right of me, which I'd point, but I'll put caramel all over, those are the finished products.
Finished product right here. So look at this.
And
this
it's
is incredible.
beautiful. This is pretty easy to make. So the only hard prep is your kids peeling those caramels.
Amazing. Julie, thank you very much. Check out Foodland Ontario's website.
Thank you.
Woo. We look forward to enjoying these in moments. More daytime coming up.